So we're going to talk about more Void Stranger lore, and this time it's actually going to be around Gray is actually odd. So this is an interesting one because if you actually play Void Stranger, one of the many and also very important secrets you will find throughout the game is that there's certain things that are very well hidden, but if you don't pay attention enough, or even if you do pay attention enough, you can easily miss it. What's strange is you want to believe that odd is gray because for some strange reason it just makes sense. But when you're eventually playing through the game, heck, even if you see the trailer for how Zero Ranger ends, you'll see that there is one character who goes through amnesia and they kind of you can see that they're like talking to a four-eyed demon, which it's the same one that Sif is. So eventually this woman looks like she's suffering from amnesia, and then she turns into like a reincarnation version of Gray, or in this case the same character we play as at first in the original Void Stranger, which again, Void Stranger is a sequel to Zero Ranger. Well, in the game, as time goes on, you eventually know that Gray has developed amnesia, but over time she still remembers what happens, why she's where she's at, what she's after, who is she really. It's interesting. But it's weird though because over time, like before Gray came back to the void, Odd actually before Odd left, well, beknownst to the Void Lords, being the creator of the original Lords, she basically decided that she was going to watch from a distance, but she was going to hide her presence somewhere, and as well as her powers in some cases, like like her items that she intervened with. And the only way that you really could find these is through like the voids and all that. So without the rod, without the mystical powers, you can't bend the void to your will. Hence, like a lock that the creator put on, so only the creator can do. Well, it's strange because if you really look at the way Odd's powers work, she seals her manifestations inside of her items, but she also can manifest anytime she like, being a god of some kind or a goddess in this case. But if you think about it though, she is gray because she shares the same looks. Even the mirrors, the those giant mimics that you run into later on. Eventually, I think it's in Gore's. I'm trying to think if it's in Gore's domain or it's Pastan's. But which one comes first? I think it's Gore's. Well, anyways, so later on, there's one where if you talk to it gives like a splitting image of Gray, and then later on, the if you pause the game, you can see it's kind of got like the silhouette of Odd. Well, later on, you find silhouettes of Odd, and there's even a giant. It literally looks like the inside of a woman's reproductive organs, the vagina, with the fallopian tubes and all that. And it's got like a scary face edited all over it, but you got to look for the details. But it's there though. And so, what's interesting is Odd doesn't have reproductive organs. That's the one thing she's missing in this case. So that would make sense why she's a creator, because she creates things through forbidden magic as well as magic, different types of magic. So it's interesting because and those were her children, basically her sisters, the ones that were when Lev was created. I do believe Lev was the final one that was created through forbidden means. And then you had Odd creating Sif, and then this is what really started this whole fiasco of the characters fighting each other. So I do believe the reason Odd does come back as Gray is because she plays a big role in what she's capable of, as well as the main character. So it would make sense that because her powers have been sealed away, And Gray doesn't have reproductive organs, apparently, so she can't have children. This would also explain, this would actually explain a lot, actually. This would also explain why, like, when Lillie is going to be turned into an egg after you get the hard mode, this is why Odd shows up. This is why Odd saves Lillie from Beelzebub. Because she decides to, she believes that Lillie is basically her child. But at the same time, though, as time goes on, we find out that, why does Lord Odd care about Lillie in the first place? Not just the demon princess Lillie, but the Lillie that we play as. And there's a reason why. Because, and especially once Lillie goes through the 255 floors and then talks to the judges, they ask her what she wants in return and says that she wants to go see Gray again, or she was seeing Gray, but she wants her to know that, she really did love her and she was sorry for what she did. Well, that explains why they took her there, not just to fulfill a wish, but because Odd is connected to Gray, and Gray is Odd. And it's also weird because, and here's where it also gets strange, because even Lillie, if you do the dis route, there is reasons to believe how Lillie can also transform into Odd. Now, it's because her powers are manifested in the items she has, the Void Lords, the Void items, the burdens. So in this case, it's not necessarily that Odd is Lillie as well, but it's just that she can manifest into corpses as well as flesh and bones and take another role. So, at least in this case, Odd was always there, but at the same time, she was also Gray as well. Or maybe, and if not, then we can say that they are sort of related, though, based on their abilities and their timelines, which is actually very interesting when you think about it. I still do think Gray is, in fact, because we see Odd transform into Gray in the trailer. And it's actually something to think about.